It was supposed to be just another routine transmission from the James Webb Space Telescope. The control room at NASA buzzed with its usual rhythm monitors, glowing softly, keyboards clicking in an almost musical pattern, and researchers sipping lukewarm coffee as data trickled in from the edges of the known universe. For months, Webb had been delivering astonishing photographs and measurements, yet nothing that truly broke the pattern of wonder they had grown used to. But on that day, something changed. At first, it was subtle. A faint flicker on one of the display screens, just a faint anomaly in the light curves. The sort of glitch that technicians had dismissed countless times before. One of the younger analysts leaned forward, narrowing his eyes, unsure if his tired vision was to blame. He tapped a colleague on the shoulder and pointed, expecting a quick shrug in return. Instead, his colleague froze. The data wasn't noise. It was precise, deliberate, and repeating. Suddenly, the air in the room shifted. Conversations halted mid-sentence. Laughter died out. And the steady hum of machines seemed to grow louder, filling the silence left behind. A room designed for calm precision was suddenly thick with an invisible weight, as though everyone present had instinctively realized they were witnessing something they should not have been seeing. One by one, scientists left their stations and gathered around the primary monitor. The screen showed a transmission from a star system so distant that even the most advanced telescopes had only scratched its surface before. But now, Webb had captured something more, something shimmering. In patterns that defied the randomness of space, it wasn't just the image itself. It was the way the data refused to behave like natural phenomena. Galaxies, stars, even black holes, all carried their signatures, recognizable fingerprints written in the language of light. This was different. The readings curved where they should have remained flat, pulsed where silence should have stretched on, and formed symmetry where chaos should have reigned. And then, color changed. Spectral lines appeared where none should exist. To the untrained eye, it might have looked like a glitching rainbow of scattered light. But to the experts in the room, it screamed something far more terrifying: intentional design. The wavelength distribution wasn't random. It was structured. It was almost as if the universe itself had blinked, leaving behind a coded imprint for Webb 2 capture. Someone whispered, "That's impossible." Another muttered, "Unless," and then trailed off, unwilling to finish the thought aloud. For years, the Webb telescope had been humanity's window into the past, allowing us to peer billions of years back in time. But this was different. This wasn't a fossil of the ancient universe frozen in light. This looked alive. The chaos began slowly, like a ripple moving across still water. Technicians scrambled to verify the instruments, triple-checking calibrations. Was it interference? Was it sabotage? Could it be a reflection of Earth's own signals bouncing back from somewhere unexpected? Yet every diagnostic confirmed the same unsettling truth. The image was authentic, untouched, and undeniably real. Phones started ringing. Secure lines lit up. Somewhere, behind the thick glass walls of the control center, men and women in suits appeared, their expressions tight and unreadable. NASA had protocols for anomalies, but this was not an anomaly. It was a revelation. It's one that threatened to spiral out of control. The scientists stood shoulder to shoulder, staring at the data that glowed across the monitor. For some, the sight filled them with wonder, a trembling awe that brought tears to their eyes. For others, it was fear primal, bone-deep fear at the possibility that the universe had just answered a question humanity wasn't ready to ask. And as the seconds ticked by, the unspoken reality sank into every mind in that room. They were the first human beings to see it, or the first to know. Once the rest of the world learned what the Webb telescope had uncovered, nothing, absolutely nothing would ever be the same again. At first glance, the anomaly looked like nothing more than a smear of light against the endless black canvas of space. Webb had captured countless such smears, before distant galaxies stretched thin by time, faint starlight distorted by gravity. But this was different. The smear didn't scatter or blur, it pulsed. The raw image was unsettling, a faint but repeating rhythm of brightness and shadow. To the untrained eye, It could have been dismissed as a glitch in transmission. But the Webb telescope doesn't glitch. Not like this. Its mirrors gold-coated, engineered with near-perfect precision were designed to capture light as faithfully as human technology would allow. And the light pouring through those mirrors was consistent, intentional, and above all, unnatural. When scientists enhanced the data, sharpening contrast and overlaying spectral analysis, their unease deepened. The anomaly's light wasn't random radiation from a dying star, nor the natural flare of a quasar. Instead, it carried clean breaks, as if someone had sliced the spectrum into ordered segments. Certain frequencies burned bright, while others vanished entirely, forming a repeating ladder of signals that lined up like musical notes in a haunting, cosmic score. One astrophysicist muttered under her breath, "That's structured. That's not supposed to happen." And then came the energy readings. Normally, energy signatures in deep space follow predictable curves. Stars burn at certain temperatures. Nebulas glow in steady waves of ionized gas. Black holes distort readings in ways scientists know well, but this anomaly spat out bursts of energy that should not exist. Gigantic surges, followed by eerie silence, as though something enormous had awakened, and then gone still again. It was during one of these energy bursts that a strange outline began to emerge within the data. Faint, jagged, almost geometric yet far too massive to be natural. The pattern resembled colossal arcs, intersecting lines that formed a silhouette against the void. At first, the scientists dismissed it as pareidolia, the human brain seeing shapes where none existed. But as Webb collected more light, the lines grew sharper. It didn't fade away with more data. They became undeniable. It looked like structure. A structure larger than anything the universe should be capable of building on its own. A young researcher leaned close to his screen, whispering almost fearfully, "That's not a galaxy, that's architecture." The room fell into an uneasy silence. No one wanted to say the word megastructure, yet it hung in the air like static. The possibility was outrageous, far beyond anything humanity had ever confirmed. Dyson spheres, massive artificial constructs harnessing the power of stars, had long been the subject of science fiction and late-night theoretical debates. But never had real data suggested such a thing could exist, till now. Still, some clung to skepticism. Could it be a collapsed star cluster, warped into unfamiliar patterns? Could gravitational lensing be twisting the light into illusions? Could this be a new type of cosmic phenomenon science had yet to name?
No.
The questions came. Rapid fire, but none were convincing enough to erase the growing dread, because the longer the team studied it, the harder it was to deny. The energy wasn't just unusual, it was precise. It rose and fell in near-perfect intervals, like a colossal engine breathing in the dark. And the more data Webb collected, the more it became clear that this wasn't chaos at all. It's order. This wasn't supposed to exist. Not here, not now. Someone pointed out another unsettling detail. The anomaly wasn't stationary. It shifted, not wildly, but with a subtle rhythm and arc that suggested movement with purpose. Unlike stars or galaxies, which drift passively according to the laws of physics, this object seemed to be navigating. The analysts replayed the data again and again, watching the pulse of light and energy drift ever so slightly, each time aligning, as though following an unseen path. It wasn't random. It wasn't drifting aimlessly in a sea of stars.